Football is officially back. The Tennessee Titans take on the Chicago Bears in Chicago this Sunday, 12 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The Bears are currently 4.5-point favorites. Guys, stay tuned and we'll break this game down. Hey everybody, how's it going? Titan Uprising here. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. My goal is to get to 750 subscribers by the Titans' first game here this Sunday. If you guys can, make it happen. I appreciate it. Please comment down below with anything you guys have in regards to the video. I'm sure there'll be Bears fans watching this as well. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll get into this video, guys. Now, I want to break down the offense versus the defense on both sides of the ball and look at the position groups, which I think will play key roles in determining the winner. And at the end of the video, I will give you my score prediction. So guys, let's get into the Bears offense versus the Titans defense. Now, the Bears invested heavily into the offense, and they have obvious here. Number one pick, Caleb Williams, who showed why he can be special in the preseason. He can make a ton of throws that just wow you, and he can extend plays with his legs, and he can also take off and score on his own as well. He really is a dual threat quarterback, and he's like a modern quarterback, which I think a lot of teams emulate, and they want to go after that next Mahomes. And this guy definitely fits the bill. We'll see if he can pan out the way everybody thinks he can. The Bears brought back wide receiver DJ Moore, who had a great year in his first year in Chicago and signed an extension this offseason, so he's locked in there for a few more years. They also brought in Keenan Allen via trade and drafted Rome Odunze in the first round of this year's draft. This is one of the best wide receiver trios that there is in the NFL. I mean, come on. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. I mean, that's a great trio. They're a top 5 trio for sure. You add in Cole Kmet and then Gerald Everett at tight end. And those are 2 solid tight ends. Everett coming over from the Chargers. And Cole Kmet, he's been there for a while now. They're both good tight ends. Then you add in running backs DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert. And this is a very, very dangerous offense. They have weapons galore. Now, the Bears' offensive line was their biggest issue last year, and I do think that line will continue to be their biggest issue this year as well. The Bears have Braxton Jones at left tackle, Tevin Jenkins at left guard, Coleman Shelton at center, and then former Titan Nate Davis at right guard, and then first-round pick last year, Darnell Wright at right tackle. It's easy to see why the Bear fans are excited about their team. There's definitely talent, and there's just guys that they overhauled as much as you possibly could in an offseason, just like the Titans did, and we'll get into that as well. Now, they go up against a revamped Titans defense, and the Titans have one of the best cornerback rooms in the NFL, and they're going to need it against these Bears wide receivers. The Titans have L'Jarius Sneed, Chidobe Awuzie, and Roger McCreary. Now, Sneed, he's likely to follow either DJ Moore or Keenan Allen. It'll be interesting to see which one he follows. Cheeto and McCreary, they're also likely to play a majority of man coverage as well. But I don't think they will necessarily follow a particular wide receiver. Sneed is that true lockdown corner, and he's a huge asset to have on the defense, and he will follow their whoever they deem to be the guy they want him to try and lock down for the game. The Titans figured to use a combo of safeties, and they have depth there as well now. Amani Hooker, Quandre Diggs, and Jamal Adams will all be on the field at the same time in certain packages, and new defensive coordinator, Denard Wilson, he loves to use unique blitzes. So expect some heavy safety blitzes here, especially from Adams, if he is in fact cleared to go for this game. As of right now, he is questionable. But if Adams is a go, look for him to be blitzing and blitzing often. And he showed he could do that, especially in his time with the Jets. The linebacker unit is new for the Titans, but both of the presumed starters are fast and rangy in Ernest Jones, who the Titans just traded for last week, and Kenneth Murray, who was brought in as a free agent this year from the Chargers. Both these guys, like I said, they're fast, they're rangy, they can get after, they can get at the quarterback too. They're going to need that athleticism because it's going to take a combo of linebackers and safeties to guard the tight ends the Bears have. And, it's great that they have the safeties and linebackers to do that. Now let's get into the Titans' biggest advantage here, and I think that is the defensive front going up against the Bears' offensive line. I truly think this is a key factor in this game. Jeffrey Simmons, we all know him. He's a top 5 in his position. Rookie T'Vondre Sweat, who's just been balling out. Sebastian Joseph Day. By the way, guys, these 3 guys combined for over 1,000 pounds. That's insane. That's a lot of weight crashing down on this Bears offensive line. Add in edge rushers, Harold Landry, who's very, very underrated as an edge rusher in this league, and Arden Key, who figures to take a step up or a step further in his development this year. And I think this front will cause the Bears fits. The Bears are returning 4 of their 5 starters from last season, which a lot of people would say is great, but the Bears have given up 50 sacks each of the last 3 years. I like the combination of the Titans having big guys up front who can get after it and crash the pocket, and the secondary who can play man coverage just long enough for a rookie quarterback not to be able to find an open guy. This is the game here for me, honestly. Rookie quarterback against a defensive coordinator who will show some exotic blitzes and will likely blitz pretty heavily as well. I think Williams will be under duress the majority of the day, and I give the edge to the Titans here because of the defense obviously having those capabilities to get after them and cover on the back end. And, I don't have it by a huge margin, but I do have the advantage going to the Titans defense. Now, the Titans, they also invested heavily into the offense, just as the Bears did. The Titans brought in wide receivers Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd to add to existing weapon DeAndre Hopkins. And this is also one of the best wide receiver trios in the NFL. So, guys, we have 2 of the best wide receiver trios in the NFL on the field on Sunday. I'm excited to watch this. The Titans brought in Tony Pollard to go along with Tyjae Spears. And they now have 2 backs who are very versatile and are dangerous catching the ball just as they are running it. And getting away from, what we're used to seeing as Titans fans where Derrick Henry runs the ball 30 times a game. These guys are going to be catching. They're going to be running it. You don't skip a beat with one in and one out. This is a very important asset for the Titans this year. The Titans, the tight ends here, they might be the weak spot on this team. At least they were... last year with the inconsistency. Chig Okonkwo, he did not have the breakout year we thought he would have last year, and he did have some drops, some key drops. And Josh Wiley, who was a draft pick last year, he was pretty banged up. I'm excited to see what these 2 can do when healthy and with a good coaching staff. The Titans also had a bad offensive line last year, but the difference is they didn't bring a lot of them back. And I do believe this is going to be a strength this season. We know the left side is good, but the right side played very well in preseason. And they also had the best offensive line coach in the NFL in Bill Callahan, which is Brian Callahan's father, which is an awesome thing. If you guys are Bears fans watching this video, Brian Callahan is the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. His father is Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach guru who's been around for years now. And they did sign him away from the Browns. Thank you to the Browns for being a classy organization and letting that happen. Now, the Titans here, they have J.C. Latham at left tackle, Peter Skoronski at left guard, both first-round picks in back-to-back years. Highly coveted free agent center, Lloyd Cushenberry from Denver. And then they have Dylan Radins at right guard and Nicholas Petit-Frere, call him NPF. He is at right tackle. And those 2 are on the right side there. Radins, former 2nd rounder, and NPF, a former 3rd rounder. Lots of capital as far as money and draft picks go into the offensive line. And they're going to need it because they're going to be facing guys like Montez Sweat, Andrew Billings, Gervon Dexter, and former Titan DeMarcus Walker. Now, Billings, he's a big body guy in the middle, and Montez Sweat figures to be the biggest threat off the edge. He had 12.5 sacks last year. 6 of them came after he was traded to the Bears from Washington. I think they're going to try to attack the right side of the line, and the Bears defense is, they're also set to be more aggressive this year as well. I truly think the game comes down to the trenches, like it does on most Sundays, but in this game in particular, I really do think this is where the game is going to be won or lost. Both teams have weapons on the offensive side of the ball, but if you don't have room or time, they don't really matter so much, do they? The Bears will have a solid front, and it's going to be difficult for the Titans to block these guys, but, they've been going up against a solid front in camp all season, or all offseason, I should say, so I have faith there. Dexter, he was a second-round pick and figures to get better this year as well. Now let's get into the linebackers. Before I get into the linebackers, I do want to kind of go back and say, hey, let's look at the guy that came from Tennessee, which would have been Walker here, Demarcus Walker. If he can build off of what he's done the past couple of seasons, he can definitely be solid, but that's an unknown for them. If he ends up having an 8 to 10 sack season, this is going to be a scary Bears defensive front here. So just keep an eye on him, what he can do. I was a really big fan of him. I thought the Bears signed him away for a little too much money than I think the Titans obviously were willing to spend, and I would have been mad if they did spend it. So, but interesting to see how Walker does in a different uniform there. Now, the linebackers here are TJ Edwards, who was one of the best tacklers in the game. He had 153 last year. And Tremaine Edwards, he hasn't quite lived up to the hype that he had in Buffalo, where he was a Pro Bowler. And the hopes for Chicago is that he can get back to that form. Both linebackers are rangy, they can tackle, so they really need a defensive front to eat up some blockers, which they can. The Bears have one of the best corners in the game in Jalen Johnson, and Tyrique Stevenson had his moments last year. He was kind of thrown in as a rookie, but he did have 4 picks, which was the highest for any rookie last year. But it also helps when you play against a stud like Johnson. The safeties here, you have former Titan Kevin Byard, and I think it's clear that he lost a step, and the Eagles did not want to retain him last year after trading for him mid-season from the Titans. I think it's clear he lost a step, guys. He did not look the same last year. He looked lost in the Eagles, but it's also going from one defense that to another. So it'll be interesting to see if he can kind of regain some form back, having a whole offseason with a different team. He's also banged up, but he does figure to play. The other safety is Jaquan Brisker, and he's solid, he's big, and he's fast. But what he's been known for so far this offseason is for saying that this is a top 10 defense. And while, you have to think that way, obviously, you have to have that mindset, but there are just better defenses out there. They have the talent to be a top 15 defense, maybe push the top 10, but things have to go just right for that to happen. Because the Bears had secondary issues in the preseason due to injuries and lack of chemistry, but the Titans have lack of chemistry as well. So, these two teams might, they're kind of similar, bad offensive line play of the past couple of years. They've tried to improve. Well, the Titans have. The Bears are hoping to improve on bringing the same guys back. And then also the secondary, they have new pieces there, but the chemistry from not playing in the preseason, and they also had top 3, in my opinion, top 5 wide receiver trios, definitely top 10 wide receiver trios in the NFL. So, and young quarterbacks as well. So there's definitely a lot of similarities here when you start to break it down and look into everything. But the Bears, like I said, they had secondary issues due to lack of chemistry, just like the Titans. So figure it to be a little bit of a rough start maybe for the beginning half of the season for both these teams. Just something to keep an eye on. I think the middle of the field will be a good spot for the Titans to pick apart this defense in the short and intermediate routes. I give the advantage slightly to the Titans offense here. I think the Titans will struggle running a bit in this game, though, because the Bears were one of the best run defenses in all of football last year. Their pass defense wasn't the greatest, and I don't think it improved that much. I think this is where the Titans can take advantage. Now, Johnson is a stud, and he's as good as it gets, but he can't guard everyone at the same time. So a lot of it's going to fall on the rookie from last year, Tyrique Stevenson, and I don't think Byard is what he used to be, so that's why I kind of give the advantage to Titans there. And the linebackers aren't exactly known for their ball hawking skills. They're more tacklers, getting after the ball carrier there. So, that's why I kind of go edge Titans there. But it's not like it's by a huge margin. It's a close margin on each side. Both of these teams have a lot of new players and coaches and are both considered to be in the rebuilding stage, but there is talent on both sides of the ball for both teams. Like I said, this was, it was close for me to do this on giving the edge to the Titans on both sides. It's not like it's going to be a blowout, and I don't have this game being a blowout. It's just kind of crazy how, as I'm talking about it, breaking the game down, you can kind of see the similarity on these teams. Both teams, they're very hyped up. They're ready to go. They're young teams. They're hungry teams. And, I wish the Bears the best. After week 1, they can do whatever they want. I'll root for them the rest of the season, especially if they put anybody else they play in the AFC South, but not this game. I do have the Titans winning this game 24-21, and I do think it will come down to a fourth quarter kick by Nick Folk. Guys, let me know what you think down below, and as always, tighten up.